Andre Wade was just released. Once again, come to just speak out on some things and just talk about some things today. Uh, first I just want to say thank you. Um, Thanking my viewers for continuing watching my show, and it's a blessing that it continues to go up. So somebody out there talking to somebody and somebody else subscribing, so that's a blessing in itself. And I just ask and pray that y'all continue to tell somebody and tell them to push that like button, push the like button, push the like button. Because if you like it, you'll watch it again. Uh, them Texas smashed this weekend, and them Cowboys lost again. But that's going to change. It's going to change. Believe me, it's going to change. They're going to come together like birds on a feather. Uh, I had an opportunity to watch a prison show last night called The Big House. I don't know if y'all ever watched that. And man, and that was the damnedest show. And it was talking about maximum security prisons from back in the day. And man, they had it. They had it rough. They did have it rough, but in a sense, Texas also had some rough prison times of its day. And right now today, even some prisons in the state of Texas, they still having rough times and going through some rough stuff. And then it's crazy because I think about the times.
Sam's not at home. You need to call Sam. Way before time. He's not at home.
It's something else, man. It's something else to think about how we have to go through so much in these prisons to the point where
you need to call Sam.
Inmates have to kill one another, hurt one another, or hurt officers, just for a change, and you have so many programs and so much stuff out here that they view these things, but a lot of times it's hard to get inside these walls and really look at it. I remember they used to have a warden, and he used to call him Media I mean. He was a black warden, and he had one warden named Warden Scott. And you got so many wardens from back in the day, and that's what they used to do. They used to clean up. They called them clean up wardens. Warden Scott, he used to dress up like offenders and would go on the block, and the white, the Caucasian officers would and that would be the main reason why he would go in and like that, because of so many grievances that had been filed, behind certain officers. Man, certain officers, some of them bring their problems to work with them, and some of them be so racial and hateful, and they take it out on the black offenders. I mean, I told you about the time the officer rolled the doors. On Eastham, he had the old roll doors, and one of the guys was telling him to hold up. He was coming out, and he had his hands in the bars, and the officer slammed the doors and cut the man's fingers off. And he walked, and then once that was done, the man walked out of the picket, left the keys and everything, and left and quit. All these kind of things probably you never heard about, because these units are so spread out throughout the state of Texas that when something go on, you don't even know about it. Like if something go on in Amarillo, you don't know nothing about it down here in Houston. If they have a riot, it don't be publicized on television, and a lot of people, families, they take it for what it is, and like the time when the young guy was he was playing like he was hanging himself, and just to get assigned to J4, and the major and them let the boy hang. They didn't go inside the cell, and he died. He died. I don't know really the procedures of what it is when an offender is in a life threatening manner, but I feel that it was enough staff there, which was the major and the officer that was working the tank, should have had the doors rolled and had went in and cut the boy down. But they didn't. They let the boy kill himself. And I remember a time when I was on McConnell unit, and then they had one of the boys that stayed on protection, and he walked up to the sergeant. He walked up to the lieutenant, and he told him he was feel like killing himself. So the lieutenant told him to go ahead and go back to the house and kill yourself. So he went back to the house and killed himself. Just so happened, the boy, it was a Sunday. I'll never forget this. When it happened early that morning. And the boy's parents, mother, I think it was, came to visit him that day. That same day, his mother came to visit him. And what they did was, I think they took the sergeant rank, and I think they fired the lieutenant. I think they fired her, they dropped her down to a sergeant somewhere in that nature. But these kind of things go on, and you don't know about it unless you're assigned to that facility, because it just don't be publicized, and that goes on. That goes on throughout the state of Texas every day. I'm guarantee you, if somebody dying of a heart attack, somebody dying of killing themselves, and a lot of the rank some they take it serious, and they on both sides of the fence. They there to help the offenders, and they there to help the officers. But like I say, a lot of these units, they built in these areas where everyone know one another in some fashion. Ex-wife or wife and husband, they say a wife and a husband can't work on the same shift in population together, but it goes on. It goes on until something drastic happened. I remember a time there was a guy when I was on East Ham, and this a certain female officer always used to mess with this guy, and everybody knew it, and he kept telling her, man, leave me alone. And then she had him, he was a S1, I think he was, or S2, and she had had him rolled, and they dropped him down, and he had ended up all the way on close custody. So one day when they was running close custody to a child, because they used to feed them by themselves in the child house before they started feeding them on the pods, well, she was working the child house. Her and another officer, Officer Bennett, I'll never forget that. Officer Bennett was on this side of the child house, and she was on this side of the child house. And they was all had close custody in the front of up there in the front of where the child line at, and they was feeding them. And man, she was messing with him. He kept telling him, leave him alone, until the man just was at that point where he was so tired of her messing with him, and he grabbed the pitcher off the table and just went to beating him. By me being the SSI at the time, and I was in the child house, doing my thing before they ran the population child, and I had opportunity to witness this here. I'm talking about the man beat her down, and also her husband worked as said. So when this was over with and they took him to the infirmary, they took her I think she went to the hospital, because he bust her up. He bust her up with the pitcher. Well, when they took him into the infirmary, and they, before they take you to lockup, they gotta give you like a physical or something, where they see, So after they done that, they took him to SED. On the way taking him to SED while he was handcuffed, and he was supposed to be protected by whoever was handcuffed, the husband came in there and jumped on him while he was handcuffed. Yeah, while he was handcuffed. So when they had to go take him back to the infirmary now, because he'd been beat up by the officer. But this is the officer, this is the female officer husband. So when they brought him in there, and the female nurse who was in there just evaluated him, knew it wasn't nothing wrong with him. She said, She said, he wasn't like that a minute ago. Now y'all take him back. So she said, nah, y'all hold him right there. She called the warden. One of them incidents, she called the warden, and the warden came, made the husband leave right then. Hey, man, leave. And you know, these kind of things go on. Like I say, when you got the husbands and wives, the ex-husbands and wives on these units, and you do something to one, and then you know they want to take it out on you, or they don't want to do anything for you. So it's so much, you know, go against the inmate in these units. And when I was watching that show last night, and they had went through so much, you know, and it was crazy, man. And it took years for the change to come about. Just like it right now, it takes years of change to come on and through these facilities in the state of Texas. That's why we have to speak out about things that go wrong, things that happen to your loved ones. You can call me, Just Release, and you know I can place it on my show so people that can review it, because a lot of people review my show, and this is one of the only ways, or other ways that I don't really know about, that you can get your word out. All you have to do is call me, or call me for an interview, and you can speak out of what's taking place towards your loved one in the state of Texas. So until next time, this is Andre Wade with Just Release. I'll be here. Call me.